Most people think the Denver real estate market slows down because something's wrong. That is not what's happening right now. What I am seeing is buyers stepping back in, more listings getting ready to hit the market, and a noticeable shift in energy now that the new year has started. December looks slow on paper, but that story is already changing. Today, I want to break down what actually happened in December, why it slowed down, and why January is already feeling very different. Whether you're a buyer, whether you're a seller, understanding why the market slows matters much more than just knowing that it slowed. Because there's a big difference between a market losing momentum and a market simply taking a holiday break. And those two things lead to very different outcomes. Here's what we're going to cover today. First, pricing and sales activity from December. Second, inventory and buyer demand. Thirdly, mortgage rates and why stability matters more than people think. And finally, I'm going to talk about what I'm actively seeing in the real estate market. We are officially into the new year. And at the end, I'll explain why December was more of a reset than a slowdown and why early 2026 is starting with a lot more excitement than the stats alone would suggest. If we are just meeting, my name is Kareem Howard and I am a Denver real estate agent, and I make these videos to help buyers and sellers understand what is actually happening in the real estate market without the hype and without the fear. Quick heads up before we start, if you're planning to buy in the next few months, there is a buyer strategy link down below. It starts with a short 30-second video explaining how people are taking advantage of this current market, and if it makes sense, you can click dime directly. That's it, now let's jump into the numbers. These stats are for the Denver metro area and include both detached and attached homes. The data comes from RE Colorado and reflects December 2025 activity. Prices and sales, the median close price in Denver was $575,000. That is down about 0.86% month over month. That is not a price drop driven by fear, that is normal seasonal movement. Now, closed homes totaled just over 3,000 sales, which is actually up more than 9% from the previous month. Total sales volume came in at about $2.1 billion, up more than 50% month over month. So even in December, buyers were still buying. Inventory and days on market, active listings dropped to about 7,600 homes. We are down roughly 28%. New listings were also down, with fewer than 1,800 homes coming on the market. This is exactly what we expect to happen in December. People travel, people pause, people push decisions into the new year. Months of inventory landed at about 2.45 months, which is still kind of keeps us closer to a balanced market more than a true buyer's market. Now, median days on market increased to 45 days, again, very typical for the holidays. Let's talk about pending sales. Pending sales came in just over 2,200, down about 20%. So pending sales came in just over 2,200, down about 20%. Now, this number often causes concern, but context matters greatly. Pending sales are going to reflect decisions made in November and early December, so when people were focused on holidays, travel, and wrapping up their year. But that's not what buyers are focused on right now. Now let's talk about mortgage rates. Over the past few months, rates kind of moved around, but they've stayed within a fairly tight range. 30-year fixed conventional loans stayed in the low 6% range. Some days they're slightly up, some days they're slightly down. FHA, VA, and jumbo loans followed the same pattern. Nothing dramatic, and this matters more than a lot of people realize. Buyers do not need perfect rates to move forward. They need predictability, so when rates kind of stop feeling chaotic, people will actually start to plan again. That's exactly what's happening in the real estate market right now. Now, what I am seeing now that the new year has started is this is where the shift really shows up. Now that the holidays are over, energy's kind of different this year. New year motivation is high, people are feeling refreshed, people want progress, and I am seeing buyers start to get pre-approved, booking showings, and asking better questions. I am also seeing sellers who waited through the holidays finally ready to list their house. There's excitement in the air again. Now, this activity is going to show in the January and February data, not December's. December was a pause, not a warning sign. So what does this mean for buyers? If you are a buyer, this is often one of the best moments of the year because more homes are coming on the market, competition is still reasonable, and sellers are realistic. The buyers who act early in the year usually have more options and better leverage. Now, what does this mean for sellers? If you're a seller, buyer demand is already picking back up. So the homes that are prepared well and priced correctly are getting attention a lot quicker than the other homes on the market. Early year listings often benefit from fresh demand and motivated buyers who are ready to act. Here's the big takeaway. December slowed because some people took some time off for the holidays. January is going to be picking back up because people are actually excited again. So the behavior has already shifted and the data will catch up soon. If this helped you and you want a clear plan for your situation, the buyer strategy link is down below. Watch the short video and book it if it feels right. And if you're thinking about selling and you want real data instead of guesses, the seller resource link is also below. You can review everything and book an in-person evaluation when you want to. As always, I am Kareem Howard, a licensed realtor with Gerlach Homes, and I'll see you in the next video.